What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. After Sound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by My Music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name After Sound, and I do have a new song out recently called Summer Gravity, so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. All right, guys, let's talk about wild format, because one thing that I am noticing is that my win rate is no longer at 50%. Now, let me preface this by saying that it's most likely due to user error, or at least there's a pretty big influence on user error, because as of last season, when there was no more survival mode, or I shouldn't say no more, but survival mode was taken down due to the updates that they are, reworking it with, I started playing more in wild format, right? Now, it's not a lot. I only leave like enough for one energy, so I can only go in and play like one battle at a time whenever I have a moment. That ensures that I don't get drawn into like a bunch of battles and spend like 30 minutes at a time getting carried away, which absolutely can't happen because I do love playing the game. So I have to limit it there. And so I started playing a lot more last season in wild format, and you can see here this season, I actually just lost like 3 games in a row, so that obviously does not help. But here I am sitting at 46.88%. Now, again, this season there's not that many games so far, and like I said, I just lost a bunch. So we'll look at last season, and you'll see that I was at 47.8%. Now, the thing is, when you look at like the top accounts here, right? So you got Vugdis and Bubkey, like it's not like they're going super crazy with like 60+% win rates. The more you play, the closer you are going to be to that kind of 50-50 range. Obviously, if you're on the better side, or you have a larger collection, or I guess you have a better bot, then you will be above 50, right? So you can see Vugdis and a lot of the top players here. Well, it does look like Rocky Balboa got up to 60%, but Rocky Balboa also played less than half the games, or only about 40% of the games that Vugdis did, right? The top players, the top 2 players, 978, 971. I'm trying to see here. Yeah, I mean, okay, so you got Raw Utah, another one with 60% win rate, but again, only 361 battles. So not really getting in there enough to really like get closer to the average, right? So what am I trying to get at with this, right? Looking at my results from last season, how I'm trending so far this season, the first thing that comes to mind for me, honestly, is the simple fact that I will slowly be one of the people that, continues to go lower and lower on this if I do not collect any more cards. Now, the beautiful thing about wild format to me is that I don't need to get all the cards right away at when they're at their most expensive. I can go in and grab some beta and untamed cards right now. I could probably even grab some rebellion cards right now that aren't selling at a premium, and start to build my collection that way, because of the fact that if I don't, I'm just going to be going up against better and better and better and better cards. And power creep is definitely a thing. It is a thing with all TCGs, right? So like I said, to me, I'm just starting to notice this now, and it's making me reconsider, a lot of things, right? So I do want to continue to build out my collection over time, but here's the flip side, right? I'm talking about the fact that I want to focus more on land now, and if anything, this also, right, seeing this makes me want to focus on land even more. Now, I feel bad about the fact that I'm not at a 50% win rate, or my bot or whatever it is not at a 50% win rate, so I do want to be more competitive, but like I said, my choices now are, do I buy more cards to fill out my deck for wild format, or do I buy more cards to put on land, right? Or put my resources on land. And then the other side is, do I buy more cards to participate in survival mode? Now, the difference between survival mode and I would say the difference between survival mode and wild format is that I could go in and just buy a lot more of the cheapest cards, right? Mainly just Chaos Legion rewards and Chaos Legion core cards. And the idea being that, like, because I have all of these cards, I can go fight for longer and last, more rounds against more people. And as their cards go on cooldown, I have a ton more in my backup, right? And I think we see that with a lot of the top players who do have very robust collections, cards that they've, acquired, and especially the people who went heavy into the Conclave Arcana or the Rebellion sales, or even Chaos Legion, right? So obviously there's still going to be a hierarchy there, but it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, at this point now, it's kind of pushing me more towards land even more than I thought I was, right? Because it's like, well, I'm going to be less competitive in Wild. Unless I start purchasing more cards, I'm going to be less competitive in survival mode, and Land is really the place that I want to be at. But I love playing the game, and I really do want to own a lot of these cards that are out there. I just don't want to pay top dollar for them, right? So I don't mind being patient, playing in Wild format, and grabbing these cards at a later time. So I'm just sharing this with you guys. I'm not doing anything actionable right now. Like I said, now that I've hit my SPS goal, my primary focus has been on Land. I've been staking more DEC on Land, and I have been buying cards that are specifically for Land. And that's going to be my focus for the foreseeable future, at least the next couple of months, I would say. So I'm not pivoting to anything right now. If anything, this has made me even more want to double down more on Land. But I do enjoy playing the game, whether it's here in Wild format or in survival mode. And so as I think towards the future, this is a decision I'll have to make, right? And again, the game might look like completely different in a couple of months. Obviously, we're going to be getting more cards. There'll be reward cards and all this stuff. So my decisions, I reserve the right to change my mind a million times. But at least as of right now, my focus is on Land. And as I move forward, the decision will then be, okay, do I play more in survival mode? Or do I start collecting the cards that I really want to own, right, in Wild format? And I'll be honest, right now, I'm leaning towards Wild format. As much as I love survival mode, I'm leaning towards Wild format just because I want diversity of cards and I want to have a wider collection. And I think what's going to be cool is that as I move forward with Land, one thing that I'm hoping to do, right? So for right now, I know this is not really in the scope of this video, but one thing for right now is I'm just going to go, I just want to get all my Land started with the cheapest cards available, which is going to be the common regular foils. But as I continue to churn my earnings from Land back into Land, right? At that point, I will start leveling up the cards or, increasing the production. So maybe moving to gold foils and maybe moving higher up in rarity. And at that point, there will be cards there that, let's say I have all like regular foil commons and I start cycling through and getting, regular foil rares or gold foil commons. Well, all of a sudden I'll have these extra cards that I can use on or in survival mode, I should say. And so there will be a natural kind of like excess of cards that I can use for survival mode that I'm looking forward to. Again, are they going to be the best cards? Probably not, but they're going to be the bottom of the barrel. But still, it's just something that I consider for the future. So that is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.